a trigger alert for anybody that wants to hold on to beliefs that may not be true, that you have. You may get triggered from that. You may have certain behaviors or beliefs that you want to hold on to. They may not be in your own best interest or that of humanity, depending on what your station in life is. The research library, which includes my YouTube channel, has been distributed worldwide to the power structure of the world. How about that? I believe that's why I got permanently banned from the X platform. To boldly go where few people really want to go. A relentless pursuit of truth, regardless of whether or not I like it or whether or not it's popular, because let me assure you, the truth is not popular. So it's May 21st. Hey, welcome. And this is the Myrtle Beach skyline over there under the pier. That's the Cherry Grove Fishing Pier in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Cherry Grove, more specifically. I continually add to the research library that upsets a lot of people because it will challenge beliefs and behaviors are actually an outflow of the beliefs that we hold, what we get to do or not do. So one of the more recent and extremely controversial topics is, hey, what about marijuana? Is that good or bad? Well, it's a little bit more nuanced than that. We don't know what the hell is in the bag that you're smoking out of if you're still smoking. I don't know it. So I used to smoke weed. I made my own e-liquid. There is, in the truth community, it's viewed that Big Pharma, by many view Big Pharma as bad, marijuana good. Well, did you know that the United States government has been heavily involved in genetically engineering everything that it can, from plants, animals, people, all of that? You think they left marijuana alone? I actually heard it come out of Kathy O'Brien's own mouth, and a friend told me she was involved in the MK Ultra program as a whistleblower, and now this was back probably in the 70s that she would have heard this, maybe a little earlier. They didn't want her to smoke weed because it affected the programming. Well, maybe they changed the weed. Could that have happened? Smells kind of like a skunk. Has a whole lot more THC and lower CBD to offset and balance out some of those psychological effects. So if you're triggered about me talking about something like or not something like, I'll just outright say marijuana, and I've got content on it that puts it in a not very favorable light because of the Genesis 1:29, all the plants of the field that have seed in them will be food for you. No, it's not because of that. It's because people are motivated by many things. Profit is one of them. So from the street dealer that wants to sell some weed to get some more stuff, they may add something to it. I had a friend almost die of paraquat pot in the 70s. And one of my last highs, I had projectile vomiting because there was heroin in it. This was a little more than a decade ago, about 11 years ago. I've been off of drugs and alcohol, tobacco for over a decade now. I'm a free man sharing a message to set others free. I don't even take pain pills, don't take Tylenol, don't take vitamins, none of that. There may be a time when I take a particular mineral. I do use boron, which is brand name borax, for my highly purified, carbon filtered, reverse osmosis drinking water bath that I've got a ground wire going into it. So, from the standpoint of neuroscience, it's a rather nuanced subject as to what psychoactive chemicals are beneficial. As with many of the pharmaceuticals that are marketed, maybe you've heard the meme or the VEAM. It may cause frequent urination, unusual thoughts, thoughts of suicide, thoughts of homicide, suicidal ideation. Normally they don't include the last two. I don't know that I've ever heard suicidal ideation mentioned, which is like a Stephen King horror show of options that I could do. I know what it's like. I experienced it. That's why I won't take the drugs. I'm exposing the pharmaceutical, medical, industrial complex and the world government, military, medical, financial, informational, psychological, industrial complexes. They all work together. And I know for those of you who may hit the diagnostic manual, the 3.5-inch thick manual that says, wow, you are the poster child for bipolar, we need to drug the shit out of you. No, I just have a love for the truth, and I'm tired of being lied to, so I'm going to expose the truth. Oh, by the way, I had an accident yesterday. I put on my wall shaver after I trim my hair, my little, oh, what do we call, the eyebrow clipper. I had too low of a guard on it, so I shaved off one of my eyebrows pretty badly. So I thought I would balance it out. When I do the home shaving, I use the Flowbee attached to the vacuum cleaner. Been doing it for a decade. Love it. So I still drink coffee. Hope that's not offensive to you. I know some Mormons would say, yeah, that's a sin, Bobby. Shouldn't be doing that. Whatever. How about sugar? How about multiple wives and husbands? People largely believe what they want to believe. This is a frickin' freak show of humanity. The plants and animals seem to know what to do. It's the people that are so messed up royally. So from what I understand, human beings are going to either spend an eternity in heaven and hell, or heaven or hell, and the Almighty determines that. That's the doctrine of election. Very unpopular. I've got a lot of unpopular perspectives in my library, which, like I said, includes my YouTube channel, and it crosses over all the different platforms that my name and phone number connect to. You may be watching this on Instagram or Odyssey or BitChute or Rumble. Could be found, or MySpace. I've got a MySpace account. So, for example, hey there. So in the discussion of is marijuana good or bad, I remember what it was like clinging to this belief that it was good, and yet I realized it was different than what I smoked in the late 70s when I was a teenager. When I revisited it in my late 40s, I found out that it was highly addictive, and all I wanted to do was to get it, have it, and smoke it whenever I could, wake and bake. So I tried eating it, smoking it with water filters, vaporizing it, all of that. And you know what? It really made things different temporarily, and then it was a new normal. It was a preoccupation with acquisition and utilization, getting it and smoking it. And you know, one of the things that I found was a very inconsistent effect. One of the other variables that they didn't mention, at least not directly in the videos that I have put in my library, really scientific, neuroscience and all that, and then some of the complications. I had a wife that threatened to call the police on me. Okay, how about that? Factor that into your case study or your trials. I had justifiable concern to what some would say be paranoid. I wasn't paranoid. It was a situational awareness that knew that the cops could show up and take me away. Ha ha, ho ho, hee hee, to the funny farm. Yeah. And over the years, I would say the better part of a dozen years, I had consumed over 16 different pharmaceuticals that were prescribed to me for bipolar management and OCD and more. I found out that the side effects were worse than, and they weren't really side effects from what I came to find out. They were effects. They had an effect on me that was undesirable. Suicidal and homicidal thoughts, not a good thing. Paranoia and anxiety that was off the chart. It was totally ridiculous. And why do they do it? Well, profiting is one thing, and primarily control of the human population, from what I understand, is the main reason for it. And it's presented as a benevolent application of science. Trust the science. Being that this is May 21st of 2024, I had heard trust the science the last few years. And then I found out that, wow, the science they were laying down was not real. It was pseudoscience to manipulate, subjugate, and depopulate the human herd in a genocidal effect on humanity. And now we've got, and have for quite some time, had silent weapons for quiet wars that can use direct psychological, neurological effect through technology. Magnetic waves, frequencies, yeah, it sounds crazy, right? Yet true. Linked up with quantum supercomputers, hypergaming humanity, creating a cybernetic collective. I'm not making words up. These are actual words that are in documentaries, documentation of the military, medical, financial, industrial complexes in their controlling of humanity, creating money out of thin air, and buying all the influence that they can with that monopoly money that it can purchase. I've got a video where a man is talking about, he's a divorce lawyer, talking about divorce and how sex drives most of the activity. You know, either getting it, wanting it, acquiring it, getting the car, the stuff, the job, so they can get the sex. And then when either of the partners decides they don't want to do it anymore, or they're just not, it's a performance-based, either a reward or a penalty. Wow. How messed up is that? I remember the premarital sex was actually more frequent and more enjoyable than the postmarital sex. Yeah, I'm not supposed to have the sex talk with our sons. They don't want to hear it, according to my wife. What she didn't want me to tell them is, hey, it's a kind of a bait and switch. On the front side of marriage, leading into it, there's the promise of all this sexual delight that may be a lot of cold shoulder and hot tongue later. Not going to be so happy with that. So I'm a bit frustrated with the whole situation. Why wouldn't I be? It happens. And I find this information out. People divulge what their life has been like, what it is like, and it's painful. It's painful to listen to. It's painful to experience. And then, shortly from now, or in the near future, I believe we're going to have the new heaven and the new earth, and there will be no more sadness, tears, and all of that. The atrocities and all that may not even be a memory. I'm not sure. I don't know. That'd be just great. I would like that. Sign me up for no more pain and suffering. I'm all on board with that. And I've been an escape artist for years. I've wanted to medicate myself with drugs and alcohol and behavior. Even as a young kid, I remember eating a lot of candy and finding out later that sugar is about as addictive as a lot of illegal drugs compared to cocaine. How about that? Is that by accident? How about the different chemicals that are hard to pronounce and read on the back of labels? Is that an accident? Is it a little overkill? Well, it's to control and subjugate humanity, so they want to make sure they get the technology in the people, the plants, and the animals, because we're all connected. In that they can manipulate and remote control huge swaths of humanity. So I'm a born-again Christ follower. I thought I was born again in '82, and I was spiritually deader than a hammer and didn't know it until I was actually born again in 2014. He so radically changed me, I wanted to let people know that, hey, you can go ahead and spread Jesus all over what you do and it not be biblical and it not be true. And people that do that might not be born again, and they may never be born again. I don't know. I don't make the call on that. I don't decide. He does. So I believe I was saved by the grace of God only, and that took place before the foundation of the world, when my name and that of our brothers and sisters were put in the Lamb's Book of Life. So the doctrine of election, predestination, as I've said, is very unpopular, yet true. The truth isn't based on popular opinion. It's not popular, it's not true. What I mean is the false beliefs are not true. I don't know where my mind went for just that moment. I'm going to back that up and say this is a correction on what I just previously said. The truth isn't based on popular opinion. It's not popular and it's not an opinion. It's simply the reality, the truth about it. Okay, so people believe a lot of things. I believed a lot of things that I found out later that were intentionally deceptive. One of the big ones is Santa Claus. I included some Santa Claus music and that in my library, and the history of Satan Claus or Saturnalia or Santa Claus. It was a deception a lot of people were in on. I remember the last year before I came to, this was the last time that I had believed it was true. I was 7 years old, and I remember we went out, my dad and brother and I went out looking for Santa, going into chimneys. So we went driving around, and we came on home, and his hat was hanging on the Christmas tree. And my mom said she when she was hanging up clothes in the basement, and she turned around, she saw him running up the stairs. And I called bullshit on Mom and Dad. And then later on that year, we were given the moon landing hoax. So I wanted to know why the big lie, why Elvis, even Elvis was in on it. Thank you very much. Elvis the Pelvis, all the different Christmas albums, all the different marketing of candy and toys and all of that. Why? Why lie? Why the lie? Why lie about living on a globe? We live on a stationary level Earth. That's the fact. Does that even look possible? Upside down people and waves and stuff? Or sideways? Does that make any sense at all? People running away from the water. No, it doesn't make any sense at all. There's up and down, not upside down in relationship to one another. According to the heliocentric lie, we are spinning in that direction over 1,000 miles an hour. And people still believe that bullshit. Oh well. I told everybody I could so far. Over 40 million people have seen me at the Flat Earth International Conference saying, do you feel yourself spinning, wobbling, or gyrating? Not me. I'm rock solid, baby, on the solid rock of Jesus Christ. He actually lives in and through me. So one of the reasons why I don't want to be impaired with drugs and alcohol is because I want to have the closest connection to the Almighty that I can have. I want to know what He wants me to realize, to believe what He wants me to believe, and to see life the way He wants me to see it, not with some kind of ad hoc chemical concoction. Alrighty then. Yeah, I've been kind of quiet for a while on live streams. I just thought, yeah, I've said it all. Well, not really. From the pulpit, check this out. You'll hear the pastor saying, no premarital sex, no extramarital sex. What he doesn't talk about is no non-consensual abstinence. That's when one of the partners says, yeah, we're not going to do that anymore, ever. One of the TED Talks says if you want to put an end to sex, just get married. That'll fix it. So you can laugh about it, cry about it. It's pathetic. It's used to lure people into marriage and then to help them to exit the stage. I've had enough of that. That's what they'll say. I've had enough of it. And then it's this repetitive cycle of we don't have sex because you're not filling my love tank, and whichever gender. It could be either way. And then there's the situation where what we purchase, where we work, where we live, what we drive and eat, and how we do our life has tremendous effects, catastrophic potentially, on how we're going to be subjugated, required to do. Who's going to raise our children and our parents or grandparents? Who's going to care for them when they need help later, if they're even around living long enough to need the help? A lot of them don't make it because of a weaponized system of this world, the Antichrist beast system. Well, I was just laughing at one of the comments. It's a lot of times I don't read them because it's kind of hard to do when I'm out here. So what I'm going to say, in the winter, the sun will appear way over here. And in the summer, it'll come up way over there. Today, it's going to appear right about there. It's already above the plane, obviously, just we can't see it yet because there's stuff in the way. So all those people that were mocking and making fun of me and us for believing the flat earth, it's stationary in level. It's not flat. It's got texture above and below sea level. Many of us were also warning them about hazards of mandates and mandated procedures and all of that. If I wanted to show you the sun right now, if I were out on the pier, on the end of the pier, I would have line of sight, very likely, to it. Or if I were in the coastal preserve right now, over there I could show you. But I'll just hang out here and let it appear. So in 2019, before the pandemic, over 1,000 videos were pulled out of my library. Huh, how about that? Channels taken down, .coms taken down, people deplatformed, people killed. A lot of people died. Also, a lot of death around suppressed energy technology. Stanley Meyer in the water car, Troy Reed in the magnet motor. Now I can see the sun appearing. There it is. Here we go. How about that? Isn't that pretty? Tide's coming in for another 15 minutes or so. And why do they believe the lie? Whatever lie it is. The globetards, the globalists, the space cadets. Yeah, maybe you're triggered by me mocking people that I've been warning and telling for years. Many of us have. Oh well. They're deceived. It's not an intelligence issue. Who are they? Whose are they? Are they spawn of Satan, or are they a child of God that just needs to get the message to look into it? Try and prove that the globe is real. And early on I thought, well, that'll do it. That'll fix it. No, they don't want to do it. I've got family members that don't want to look into my YouTube channel and research library. And then I've got in-laws I'll probably never see again. And that's okay. I don't mind. It's too bad for them. They're believing the lies. Not just one lie, lots of lies. They can't see it. So I use the Matrix as an example, and it's a metaphor and an allegory, and you can see it all over my channel and research library if you care to. So with BCI, brain-computer interface, linked up with quantum supercomputers, it's different than the wired version of the Matrix, where they jacked people in, or they were plugged into this Matrix with a jack in the back of their head. Now, it's wireless, baby. It's connect up through Wi-Fi, cellular, Starlink, and whatever technology they're able to deploy to manipulate and subjugate humanity. So there's the spiritual deception, a strong delusion that people are believing. There, in the last days, there would be a delusion that's so powerful that, if possible, would deceive even the elect. That's a big little word, if. The elect will not be deceived. We won't take the mark of the beast. And by the way, I believe we already had the tribulation and the millennial reign of Christ in the rear view mirror. Yes, I believe that those prophecies are fulfilled, and we're in Revelation 20, the short season. If I haven't chased enough of you away yet, there you go. That's another whopper. How about that? You hear that at your church? Oh, preterism, that's ridiculous. No, it's not. I don't know all the tenets of it. I just believe that the tribulation and the millennial reign of Christ happened already. I've got archaeological and historical evidence of a grand illusion that's been perpetrated on us through the timeline deception and more. You can look at it if you want to, or not. That's the takeaway, or not, whatever. Do what you want, live where you want, do what you want with who you want, who you can, and see how that works for you. F around and find out. Elon Musk. Elon Musk, you got all this stuff. You got all this stuff, and you boot the truth guy off of your platform for exposing too much truth. Well, you're a medical or a military industrial complex contractor. You're part of the problem. Did you buy Twitter to be the free speech oasis? I'm calling bullshit on it. There you go. I tweeted to him today, wake up, Elon. It's a direct link when I appeal. That's my tweet to him. And I sent it to Instagram, Tesla page. I connected with a lot of influencers on Instagram. I'll direct message them. I've direct messaged Kimball and May and Tosca Musk. I believe Elon does not have an Instagram official one. There's a lot of wannabes or imposters. A lot of the internet activity is false. A lot of the profiles and that are catfishing humanity. Artificial intelligence can create abundant profiles of people that don't even exist. They're not even real. Oh well. How are you going to know the truth when it's right in front of you? How will you recognize it? I believe it's only by God's grace that anybody can love and believe the truth, let alone find it. Maybe you find that refreshing. I do. I'm not responsible for what other people do. And I'm not trying to be intentionally obnoxious by hitting on some of the behaviors people hold to. Today, while I was here, I saw a couple of ladies smoking, a younger lady smoking and an older lady smoking. Do you think they were smoking? And it was cigarettes. I could smell it. Because they wanted to, or they didn't want to feel the withdrawal. So I got the tobacco junkie or monkey off of my back and all of that. I quit thousands of times, and then I would start right back up. I'm free now from all that. You can tell if somebody is disingenuous and has a confirmation bias. That means they want to kill the messenger in their mind. Where I brought up the topic of marijuana, and they say, well, what about pornography? What about your pornography use? I'm like, it's not really that much of a thing for me. By the way, they're not in the same category, just so you know. Neither is self-actualization in the context of that. So if somebody wants to jump right away and say, well, you sin too, I say, well, yeah, I know I sin. I just don't do it as much as I used to. And I'm glad to be free from the things that used to run my life. So rather than trying to please others or myself, I just wanted to find out what the Almighty created me to do and why am I still here? What does He want me to do with what's left of the life that He's living in and through me? So why do people get deceived? Well, I believe they're proud. That's one thing. And another one is they're going to need help from the Almighty to help them to love and believe the truth, let alone find it. So 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 says to everybody forever, they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a strong delusion. So they're gonna believe the lies apparently they want to believe, or whatever lies God is going to help them believe. So between the technological and spiritual enslavement of humanity, how are you going to break free from that? Well, I don't know any other way to seriously be freed from the enslavement I was in other than the power of the Holy Spirit. So that's the gospel message. I understand there's a spiritual smorgasbord out there. A lot of different religions, a lot of different beliefs about those religions. And what I'm going to say is that it's impossible for contradictory perspectives to both be correct. They may both be wrong. There may be another option. In fact, all of them are wrong except the one that's true. So you can toss as many deceptions, a veritable kaleidoscope of conspiracy theories. You can look at them all, and they're designed to confuse and to obfuscate the truth, to distract people away from the true deceivers and conspirators and what they're doing and how they're doing it. So I've compiled a lifetime of research and curiosity, and I continually add to it every day, around the clock. We've got a little, very ambitious, sturdy duck in the waves there. Let me see if I can zoom in on him. I'll pan over to the sun and go back to him in a minute when he pops up. There he is. Wow. A duck in the surf. There he is. They call it a duck dive. He's going under. He's going to let that wave take him in a little bit, maybe. I don't know if he's going to jump up. No, he's going back out. That's kind of funny. I don't know that I could go and rescue him. There he is. You ever see that before? Hey, good morning. Good to see you all here. He's going to get hit by that. Hey, today was bath day for the kitties. I've got the 3 naked kitties. If you want to go to my channel and hashtag catfight, it's the looking glass on my channel. You can see Pearl and Dean. Pearl is smacking Dean and knocked him off of the couch. It's hilarious. Anyway, it was bath day for all the kitties. So when I got out of the tub, there was a ring around the tub higher. And then when I was done washing them, there was a much darker ring a little bit lower, about 10 gallons lower or so. So in my bath today, I lost another about 5 pounds, and then I'll pick that back up with water, coffee, smoothies, healthy nutrients, healthy clean water, electrolytes. In my bath water, I include a tablespoon of each of the following: in the highly purified carbon filtered reverse osmosis water. I'll put in a tablespoon of baking soda, borax, which is boron, magnesium sulfate, which is Epsom salt, a full spectrum sea salt. You could use Celtic or Redmond or a vintage seabed like Redmond is. I got So salt from Italy, from the Mediterranean. That was pretty affordable. And then a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and lemon juice. And just because I can, and just because I like it so much, I put 7 drops of each of the 2-part chlorine dioxide water purification system in there. You can get it in the camping section. Just want to make sure it's really microbiologically neutral, that there's nothing in there I don't want in there. And then I take 7 drops of each of that and put it in a glass with a little water and drink it. And I would say if you want to consult a doctor, one of the ways of doing that, if you're going to consider any medical treatment, is to explore my research library. I've got Nobel Prize awarded doctors, some of them that have been killed for their exposing the truth, and you can consider them. And then if you want to go to your MD, your family doctor, and get another opinion from them, that's your prerogative. But keep in mind, when you go into a doctor, if you mention something like, I'm feeling a little anxious or I'm having thoughts of harm, they're going to go right away to, do you have weapons? What kind of guns and bullets do you have? And then they're going to very likely contact the authorities and they'll disarm your ass. How about that? You're going to hear that from the pulpit? No, you're not going to hear that from many pulpits. And I don't know how many YouTubers you're going to hear that from, but I've got videos that talk about disarmament and how they're using the psychological, medical community and the dragnet of everybody else, just like Neighbors. Oh, he's crazy and he's got guns. Well, what about that? I'm going to say that when they activate a mad shooter like a Manchurian Candidate that the AI can activate, mind control technology, that would be a good reason to have a way to protect yourself, is the craziness of this world that we live in. And, well, it just so happened that I ended up here. And I'm on those cameras being monitored by people wanting to go surfing maybe, and of course the artificial intelligence that monitors those too. You can go to the Prince Resort and you could see me walking around on the beach right now. Certainly the AI does. When anybody turns on their camera and passes it around, it seamlessly puts it all together. It's way beyond human intelligence. It's akin to about as close to omniscient as technology can be, that was created and that's being created and utilized by spiritual entities. I'm using it to expose the truth, and Satan is using it to deceive. I believe the Almighty is using it for His glory through His children, and I'm one of His children. Not the only one. Not everybody's mucus is the same. And by the way, are there stem cells that collect in the sinus passages? Could be. I know it's salty. I put it on like my ACL that I pulled, apparently, and rubbed it, and it felt a whole lot better. Why? What's about that? How about that? I use it as a shaving solution. It's real slippery stuff. It's not all nasty. And if you look at Gerald Pollack talking about the fourth phase of water, we're not filled with water that looks like liquid out of a glass, like really thin and easy to pour. It combines with electrolytes and electricity from our body that creates what's called EZ water, or he calls it that, exclusionary zone. So you can look at that in my library. And there's all kinds of endocrine disruptors and gender bending chemicals that are being put in the food, water, and air to subjugate and manipulate humanity, remote controlling huge swaths of humanity. With technology they believe just sounds crazy. Whew, what a deal. How about that? That's how I found it. Pretty messed up. So now I can feel the sun really blasting off of the beach there onto my face. That's one of the ways that I get such a great tan, is that sun there is bouncing not only off of the wet sand in the water, it's coming off of the sun too. That's how it actually works. And then the ring around my bathtub is a lot of that skin that I slough off every single day. It's like a solar panel that I pick up energy from the sun. Free energy. You can get it wherever you are, perhaps, unless you're in a deep underground military base protecting yourself from drone warfare. Or trying to. Even some of the drones apparently can be very small, possibly even in the body. Molecular machines. They say they're doing it. That's the world elite. Gene editing, CRISPR technology, and molecular machines. Cloning sheep and pets and people. Yeah, human cloning. You can see it on my channel if you want, in my library. And if you think I've missed something, by golly, you can go ahead and send me a link, give me a holler, give me a call. If you like or don't like what I'm up to and doing, that's your prerogative. Feel free to let me know if you want. You can put it in the comments. I pretty much allow most comments. And you can call me anytime you like. Google my name if you want. So, another thing. You can ignore the truth. You just can't ignore the consequences of ignoring the truth. Whatever it is, about whatever you want to know about, whatever you believe, is it actually true, or is it your own mental masturbation, your own desired perspective of you and the world you live in? Are you the captain of the world? Are you the champion? Are you captain of your soul? Or the king of the world like Leonardo DiCaprio, or the wealthiest billionaire parasite class? I don't know, it doesn't look too good for them. So I even tweeted and direct message the world leaders and the power structure that I could. That's how come I got into some hot water with Elon. Too bad, Elon. Where are you going to spend forever, and why? How about Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates? Where are you guys going to be forever? You may want to consider this whole reality that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. That's the most important truth. Getting that wrong is eternally fatal. Eternity is a long time to regret. I encourage everybody to seek the truth with all your heart, because it matters for eternity. Thank you so much.